everybody, welcome back to the channel. Nova here. We're going to be doing a bit of an achievement guide in this video. I will be doing the last autumn scenario in Frostpunk and demonstrating how to get the ducks in a row achievement. For this achievement, you need to build the generator in this scenario without pauses between construction of its parts longer than 24 hours. For demonstration purposes, I will be playing this on the easy difficulty. Now granted, like many things in Frostpunk, there are multiple ways you can approach this. During this video, I will be showing you guys how I approached it. Yeah, this achievement, it does not matter what difficulty you are playing on. You can get this achievement on any difficulty you wish. So let's get started. Alright, so what I like to do is right away sign the Hearty Meals Law so that not only can the cooldown start to sign the next law, the hearty meals increase motivation every day as long as your people are eating them. So having that law passed right away can help get your motivation up and keep it up for quite a while, most of the game. So once I have that done, I get all my workers assigned accordingly. The next thing I like to do is make the first workshop. For this one, you need to stockpile your resources very quickly and in large quantities. So the first thing I like to do in the tech tree is go for the docks. It's going to be very important to get going right away, as soon as possible. And on easy difficulty, because technology research is faster, the docks research will finish before the end of the first day. Once I have the docks established, I go and make my houses, my tents, so that my people don't get sick from sleeping outside.
Get some rest.
And then once the docks are built, I set this to produce wood. Let's see if they'll come and build it. Looks like they're coming. For the next law, while we're waiting for them to finish the docks, I like to make the chapel, because that's another daily effect on your motivation. Alright, let's set that to wood. I'm going to build a couple more streets going back this way so then I can start making the rest of my town, my camp, rather.
Rise and shine. We've got work to do.
Alright, so now I can send the guys to start working at the docks, and with that, you can get the telegraph station on day 2, which is pretty wild. I think, anyway. So you can get that started right away and start receiving additional support. What I like to do right away, sorry I moved a little bit quickly there, because you start with 40 on your logistical limit, what I like to do is get 20 workers right off the bat. Because I need that extra early game working power. And then make the tents accordingly so that they can be housed upon arrival.
Quitting time. Take a breather.
So once that's done, I'll make the second 2 of the workshops that can house my engineers. And once the cooldown expires on the law book, I like to go to evening service.
Regulations change.
If needed, you can use this to increase your people's motivation and offset some of the losses. So that's another tool that you have at your disposal. Because having your motivation up is going to be really key to finishing the generator really quickly. And making sure that your parts are getting done. And that's in any run of the last autumn, not just this one.
Get up, people. There's work to be done.
Alright, so now that the docks are running, what I next like to do is go for drawing boards because I want to get the reloading stations as soon as possible. They increase your gathering rate dramatically on resources. Alright, so now I can research the reloading station, have it going. Now the second dock over here that I just made, I'm going to put that one into steel, because I'm going to need a lot of steel. Alright. Alright, I'm still waiting on the tech to research. As soon as that's done, I'll put a reloading station on the wood and the steel. At first, you'll want to do this during off hours, because otherwise it interrupts your resource gathering. So I would recommend waiting until the night before you make these. But at least have the tech available to use. Alright, I've got everybody assigned. I usually go for sustain life next because then you can get the care house and the prosthetic shipments. So that's really handy. Once I get the reloading stations, I like to go for the fishing harbor because that's going to be my food source for the game. For the entire game. Also gonna make that chapel. Well, actually, I shouldn't do that just yet because I need the resources for the reloading stations. Because I still have time. Yeah, I still have another full day on that, so I'll wait. Now, for those of you who have not played this scenario yet, the reloading stations start unstaffed, even if you had people there. So make sure you reassign your staff accordingly. Oh, looks like I do have enough for the chapel. Cool. Get that built. Alright, and on the next in-game day, I'm gonna go for establishing the fishing harbor before things get too far along. Get that started. Okay, yeah, the tech's been researched. Start building it. I also need the cookhouse. Start making food. And I also need the care house, because I promised people that I would pass it. Yeah, this is the hearty meals in the cookhouse. You have to click on this button. It doesn't make them by default. You have to tell the game that's what you want to do. Because there's also the standard rations that you can have. As you can see, because I ordered the staff so early, my logistical limit has risen dramatically. And there's my prosthetics. Here, however, I like to get my steam cores ordered because waiting for those is kind of a pain. If I recall correctly, you only need an additional 4 on top of the 3 that you start with to complete the scenario. We will see if that is correct in a moment. Oh yeah, I gotta activate it. There we go. Whoops. Alright, now I've got tier 2. I like to go for the finer mesh. It gets me more food. I like to build up my food supply really early because then you don't run into issues later. Plus, now that we have tier 2, we can go straight into generator construction. Before we get too far along in that though, I like to make a few resource depots to store additional resources that my docks gather, so that when I need the resources, they are there. I like to make 1 for wood, oops, 1 for coal, and 1 for steel, the 3 major resources. Now, for those of you who didn't know, there's a couple of huge coal piles back here, with a total of 4,000 coal just sitting there, waiting to be grabbed. So make sure you build a gathering post down there so you can gather it all. The gathering post is much more efficient than assigning people manually, and you don't need as many people. Alright, looks like the profiles manufacturer is here. I'm going to go for optimized materials right away because that decreases the material cost and construction time by 50%. So I'm going to make that right away. And this is the meter down here, guys. This tells you how far ahead of schedule or behind schedule you are on generator construction. You can also click on this, I believe. Thought there was a button you could click on here to see where you were at, but there's somewhere that you can click to see how much stuff you need to make certain things. Actually, I'm gonna wait because I'm waiting for the upgrade. Perfect. Because now it takes 20 wood instead of 25, which is neat.
The shift's over. Time to grab a bite.
Yeah, I like to go for repatriation of bodies because if anyone dies and you send them back, like from the morgue, your motivation goes up, which is cool. Something that's really handy to have. Yeah, I don't have any research going right now because I kind of need to focus on the structural profiles. Because now I'm kind of on the last day of being ahead of schedule. And if your motivation rises high enough in this scenario, your efficiency increases by 30%, which is pretty significant.
Get up, people. There's work to be done.
Alright, now I can assign my workers there, because I need 8 structural profiles for the first site, the first piece. And once you start building those, your work safety starts becoming affected. So you'll have a new set of laws for labor. What I like to do here is I like to go with 2 shifts, because you can have your facilities working 24 hours a day. You would think this would cause a lot of discontent, but it doesn't. Alright, now with the structural profiles built, we can have one guy hanging out in there to start building it, and now we are 4 days ahead of schedule again, so we have time to focus on other stuff. What I like to go for next is tier 3 for mechanical calculators to increase my medical care. And you'll need to get the engineers to supply the infirmary. As you can see, I just ordered them, and I ordered some prosthetic limbs in case my people need them. Oh, there's the generator construction overview. So this is what you can use to determine how much of each thing that you need. And also the optional upgrades, which we will get to later. So this tells you how much you need and how far ahead of schedule you are, what your progress towards completing that stage is. And then up here you can find what you have in stock, what's queued for production, and what you have in total. I've memorized all of that, so I don't really need it, but I thought I would show you guys so that you could see that there is a way to see that. Now after 2 shifts, I like to go for shift work coordination, because that reduces the amount of people that you need to run extended shifts. Or 2 shifts, rather. Alright, now that I've got tier 3, I'm going to go for the 2 upgrades required to get the infirmary. Oh, and you can have just about any facility working 24 hours. But you do have to set that yourself. It does not apply automatically. Even though it takes that additional manpower, you can still get quite a bit done. You can actually get quite a bit more done by doing so. Okay. On our way to the infirmary. Looks like our engineers have arrived. Just waiting on the tech. Build that. Now for illustrative purposes, I'll go back into the generator construction overview and look ahead to stage 2. I can't build the foundations yet, but I can prepare for it. So what I need to make is 10 structural profiles and 10 steam exchangers. Well, I already have the profiles manufacturer, so I can set up to build 10 structural profiles, excuse me. However, to make the steam exchangers, we need the machine shop. So I'm going to start researching that and rebuild the roads that I tore down at the beginning of the scenario. I needed the extra wood from that. Alright, now, in the law book, I have to sign my first safety law. I haven't done that yet. So I'm going to do safety procedures. Alright, now I can make the machine shop. I'm going to do safety improvements because that's kind of in the way of the upgrade that I actually need.
Get on up. Work's not gonna wait.
Alright, and then in order to get to the efficiency upgrade, I need to get tier 4 technology. Get some more workers on the way. They need the extra manpower. And you'll want to have your chapels spread out in such a way that all of your crew is covered by them, because the more people that have access to a chapel, the slower your motivation falls. Because you can see here that living near a chapel has a daily effect on the people that are living near it. Alright, now that I've got tier 4, I'm going to go for redesigned templates.
The shift's over. Time to grab a bite.
Alright, after safety procedures, I like to go for after-hours equipment maintenance. Even though discontent rises permanently, the risk of accidents are reduced everywhere, which in the long run is going to provide you a much greater benefit. Alright, now I've got redesigned templates, so I can make them cheaper now. I can only make 8 right now, but that's fine. I'm still a couple days ahead of schedule, so I do still have time for these 20 workers to arrive so I can throw them into the shaft structure. Once I've got the machine shop, I like to go for the ventilation plant next to increase work safety. Alright, let's get them in there. Just gonna throw a couple extra workers in the gathering post because I'm gonna need that for the ventilation plant. Alright. You can build that. You can have them working 24 hours as well. I like to go for efficient fans right away, because that'll save you a lot of coal over the course of the game. Also, what'll save you a lot of coal during the game is to turn off the ventilation plants when they are not needed. Alright, now what? Alright, I can do company funerals. Yeah, that one's good. Because then it increases motivation more, even though it costs steel instead of wood to send bodies back to London. Alright, I've got the efficient fans researched, which is awesome. Okay, what's going on over here? Yeah, get more workers. Build the tents that I need for them. Alright, this is what I mean by work safety. Toxic gases will start venting once you get to 25% on the first stage here. So now workplace safety has dropped, and that's where the ventilation plants come in handy to increase your work safety. If it is anything less safe than harmful, the risk of accidents goes up. Well, you start to get accidents. So to make sure your safety is at least above that point. Oh, my wood's full. So, I can actually look ahead in the construction overview to stage 3. I need 50 structural profiles for that stage. So I need 60 total from here, but then I don't need any structural profiles for the rest of the game.
Get some rest, people.
And there will be a scripted accident that occurs on this one. There's a few that happen throughout. This one occurs at approximately the 65 to 70% mark. If you get your workplace safety to unhealthy or safe, you can mitigate the losses of this particular event. Because of what I'm seeing with the safety dropping down to harmful because of the gas, I'm going to close the facility for the day and wait until the next day when the gas level drops. Alright, after company funerals, the bathhouse is a pretty good shout. I don't keep it though, I literally just make it because I need that law to pass something else that really helps, called comfortable quarters. We'll get there in a moment. But that law is really helpful for increasing motivation.
Rise and shine. We've got work to do.
Alright, now that my wood has produced enough to supply me for the rest of the game, I can focus on other stuff that requires wood. Alright, make the bathhouse and just dismantle it right away, because I don't really need it. So, I suppose I'll have the guys work on making my structural profiles. Yeah, this is comfortable quarters that I was talking about. Discontent falls, motivation rises, but housing buildings will only accommodate 8. The alternative is crowded quarters, but comfortable quarters just works better. And then you will need to build more bunks as a result. So just be prepared for that.
Get on up. Work's not gonna wait.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the toxic gases to drop back down. I might fall behind slightly, but that's okay. Yeah, I think I'm good for now on the law book. Alright, looks like all 60 of the structural profiles have been built, which is good. To be prepared for future stages, I'm going to start working on the foundry. Which is what I need to make steel composites. Okay. I can build that. Put it over there. Alright, is the toxic gas gonna drop? It should. There we go. Because now my workplace is back to that unhealthy level. So then I can avoid the accident that's about to occur. Basically what happened is there's a cave-in that happens, but if your workplace safety is safe enough, you can send a rescue team and save your workers. And then you can put the workplace safety back down to harmful so that they speed up a little bit. But then they will start going on strike. And you have to promise them something. I will promise them the public house. Now, both sides work equally well, favoring workers and favoring engineers. I prefer to favor the engineers, though, because they increase safety at the worksite. Makes it much easier to manage workplace safety. Alright, so now it's going to take some engineers to staff the factory inspectorate. It's going to take 10 of them. So I will order some more. And I will also get more workers on the way. Make some extra bunks once this phase finishes up. Okay, so this is where ducks in a row starts to come into play here. And why you gotta stockpile your resources ahead of time. Because I have less than 24 hours to start the next part. It doesn't matter which part it is. In this stage, it is the pressure valves and the tower pumps. You can pick either of them, and you only have to put one guy in there, and it will count. So I'm safe to leave that one guy in there on his own. Alright, and because I've got all the structural profiles that I need, I can change this dock to producing coal instead. While still having that wood stockpiled. Alright, so... Yep, I got the steam exchangers, that's already done. I need 25 steel composites for stage 3. So I can start working on those. Getting those in the queue. Actually, I shouldn't do that yet, because I forgot something. I forgot the efficiency upgrade in the workshop to make them cost less and take less time to make. So I'm going to do that now. So I'll research that before I make those. Alright, I've got the engineers and the extra workers. Alright, I need some extra bunks. There we go. Alright, now I've got innovative process. And start making these. Get those in. Once all of those are done, I'll put more guys into this so that we can get it going. Because I'm slightly behind schedule, but that is okay. You don't want to fall behind for too long, though, because if you miss 2 deadlines, you are fired and the scenario ends. So you want to be careful of that. So I will open the public house, as promised. Oh, factory inspector at the bonus. Keep it for the engineers. Alright. So now I can dump all of my guys into construction. Alright, as a safety measure, I'm gonna get the second ventilation plant. It's gonna be helpful to mitigate safety when the gas level is getting really high. Alright, so now I will build that second one, but keep it inactive until it's needed. Alright, now I can start the tower pumps. Let's go for the House of Pleasure right away with the public house. Because why not? Get some workers in there. Alright, and this part is if you make some safety equipment using some extra materials, you can increase the work safety. In this case, for the tower pumps, if you make 5 steam exchangers, you gain +1 safety on the construction, which is awesome. If you don't have those resources yet, there is an option for the game to have it remind you once you've built them. I've already built them, so now I can turn that ventilation plant off. It also saves coal by turning the plants off when they're not needed. Actually, I shouldn't close it. I'll just take the workers out of it. There. Beautiful. Alright, there's another scripted accident that comes here. Alright, in this case, the source is exposed. The heat source. For this one, unlike the first one, you have a few options. You can seal off the source, but the generator won't be able to power more than a few heat zones. You can leave it open, and everybody underground will die. Or, if you made the safety equipment, you can pick this option, and you can mitigate the losses considerably. Yep, successful evacuation. Some of them became amputees, but I do have some prostheses. I'm actually going to order a couple more sets. Yeah, I'll do that. Alright, so the tower pumps are about to finish, which is sweet. Alright, now oh. I was like, why didn't I complete it? I had to put staff in there. I guess I made it too early. Alright, now it will allow me to build the core and the 2 support frames that I need. Make them all 24 hours right away. And then put my 1 guy in there to make sure that it's safe. And under generator construction, we can see that we need 50 steam exchangers and 20 composites, which is a lot. Alright, while that's going on, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here and research the steam reloading station. I'm going to need that on my steel over there. So that I can gather steel faster, because I need a lot of steel for the next couple stages. And then after that, you can research gathering optimization to increase their efficiency, which is always useful. Alright, how much more is left? A couple hours worth? And then I can destroy this gathering post and use those workers elsewhere. And let's go for bare knuckle bouts. Actually, I needed to pass overseers, but whatever. I'm not going to worry too much about it. So I guess I can get my guys in there to get working. Yeah, homeless people falling ill. I'll make some more bunks. It won't take long. There. Built some additional infrastructure, because I know I'm going to need more bunks. Alright, they're done over there. So now I'm going to start working on the steam exchangers that I need. Yeah, I know. I'll pass it soon. Have to worry about my people first. And I need 50 of these. Alright, so because of this, I'm only going to put a couple of guys into the core so that I have enough time to stockpile the resources I need for the next stage. But I still need to satisfy getting things started. Alright, motivations. It's not too bad yet, but I'll use the ability. Alright, now let's go for overseers. They just keep an eye on the workers, it's nothing crazy. And then because I already have the engineers to staff them, works just like that. Alright, the core, fire danger. So this is another one like the tower pumps where you can build safety equipment, but for this you need 5 steel composites. Alright, I can start making those steam exchangers. I guess I can get the other guys going. Get them in there. While the toxic gas concentrations are lower. And then get things set up over here in the foundry. Alright, so this is the third of 3 scripted accidents that occur. Alright, so now there's a fire in the core. So much like the tower pumps, what you can do is you can evacuate the workers, but this will cripple the generator permanently. All progress on the core will be lost, and you'll have to restart making it. You can cut off the air supply to put the fire out. The generator will be of normal quality, many workers will die. Or you can use the fire dampeners, which I will do, to put the fire out. Alright, these guys are coming along pretty good. Oh, we're out of coal, that's a problem. Probably because I'm making these things. There. Let's put one of them on. We don't need both on. Not at this moment. Yeah, I don't need anything else there. So after overseers, we can go for security outposts. Alright, the steam exchangers are complete. Can put them into the foundry to start making those composites. As you can see, after a brief period of falling behind early on, we are almost 2 full weeks ahead of schedule. I'm gonna build a few more workshops here, because I'm gonna need those for the final phase, which we'll get to later with those upgrades that I was talking about earlier. Alright, those guys can get out. Alright, that is stage 3 done. Thankfully, I have enough steel composites to make at least one of the thermal hulls. I need enough to make 2, though. And that's the end of the toxic gases. You don't need the ventilation plants anymore. Right, so you can dismantle them at your leisure and put those steam cores elsewhere, because those are very valuable. So I'm gonna put one on the reloading station to make it a steam reloading station instead, to increase my steel production. So because of this, I'm gonna take a bunch of the workers out to make the other steel composites that I need for the second thermal hull before I run into that 24-hour problem. Alright, so now I can at least put the second one up, have it ready, and throw my guys back in there. So because we are on track for ducks in a row, the next thing we can do is start thinking about the generator upgrades. These will cost certain amounts of stuff, but in total you need 25 steel composites and 45 steam exchangers for all 3 of them. They are completely optional. You don't have to make them if you don't want to. For the purposes of this video, I won't make them, because I'm just trying to illustrate the achievement ducks in a row. Normally I would, even though it doesn't change the game at all. It changes the ending a little bit though. And if you picked any of the options for the tower pumps or the core to, you know, seal off the air supply or like seal off the heat source, that actually affects the generator canonically in the end of the scenario. Alright, now we can get my guys in on the other one. Yeah, I don't think I need anything else in the law book. I think we're good. Oh, the thermal hull's on strike? Break it! Get back to work. And would you look at that, guys? The generator is done.
Generator
That is
operational.
how to get the
It's
Ducks in a
operational.
Row achievement. Hope you guys enjoyed this little achievement guide. If you guys have any other ideas for videos, please let me know in the comments. For achievement hunting though, that might be kind of limited as to what I can do there. I want to be able to make videos on ones that I can reasonably replicate. Like Ducks in a Row is pretty easy to replicate. There's a few others that I could do for Frostpunk. There's some I could do for Deep Rock. There are some that I can do probably for other games that I have in my library as well. Alright guys, I will catch you in the next video. Have a great day.